welcome back. You know, I just mentioned before we went on a break, I said it is tech, tech, tech. Me, I want to make soft money, but yeah, I have some two dang guys right here in the studio looking all greenish and stylish. I don't know whether they twined from their homes or they had a phone call, but yeah, they are here with me and I'm making a proper intro so we get into the band. But yeah, you're looking so amazing. But why green though?
You know,
So why, why do you look like twin?
it just happened, but I think we probably are elves for Santa Claus, you know. So.
Right.
Yeah, right. That
Usually
makes
do.
sense. But then I get to hear that tech guys are mostly shy. Is that true?
It depends, actually. I'll speak for myself. I'm shy.
So you see, I'm not lying.
Well, you can be shy once in a while.
Okay, so maybe you're just in the spirit of the festive, you know, mood.
It depends. I guess it depends on the space, depends on where you are and who's around you.
Oh, really? But normally, are you shy? You're
I've
just
done
there.
that face.
You're just there. You're just there. So long the money is speaking, but you're just there. All right, let's progress. Introducing our tech geniuses right here on Silverbird today. They are seated here with us to give us the knowledgeable insight that is needed to launch us into 2026. And the first person we have Oluwafunbi Raji, who is a senior software engineer with over 8 years of experience building scalable software systems, particularly in fintech and back-end infrastructure. And then we also have him as a thought leader. I love that part. And he's also known for breaking down complex tech ideas, questioning industry narratives, and focusing on practical innovation, especially within emerging market trends. You're welcome, Oluwafunbi. Yes, and also our second guest right here is the person of John Dada. He's a doctor, we call him Dr. He's a trained medical doctor from the University of Lagos, an active member of Love Road Incorporation, and a martial art enthusiast. I hope you're not going to box me today. But then he's also the founder of Family, a WhatsApp-based AI platform for restaurants and cloud kitchens, and we know him as a software engineer with 15 years of experience. That's a whole lot to unpack. He's an entrepreneur and Y Combinator, passionate about building technology that solves real-world problems, and he is also the founder and CTO of Curacell, an AI-driven Insurtech company that is backed by Google and Y Combinator. Oh my God. Oh well, we don't have a tech jargon. Introducing to you, John Dada. He will do the proper introduction, but with all of this being said, this is what I'm telling you. They are tech geniuses. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, I mentioned earlier that you're doing green. Why? In the spirit of the festive season, or you put a call through, guy, let's just wear this. Or we don't know ourselves from Adam, but then I'm going to rock green.
It's the second opinion you give, which is we don't know ourselves from Adam, and here we are, swinging.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess a better explanation is, you know, we're both engineers. Maybe we work for Santa Claus behind the scenes.
Oh,
I mean,
a
like
Santa
his minions,
engineer. Oh,
you know,
yes.
So
So now
I'm going to
you,
always wear green.
but with red, no, Santa has red.
Yeah, but his minions,
White.
those elves, they
So I
wear
have
green
Yeah,
red.
the
most
elves.
of the time.
Oh, you have red. You see, the tech guys came prepared for me, but then let's go on a quick break. However, we return, we'll dive into every juicy compilations in this conversation. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. We are here with our tech geniuses in the person of John Dada and Oluwafunbi. You're welcome once again. So if you have to look at, in perspective, if you have to look at Nigerian tech system in 2025, how would you describe it one word differently? Yours first, then yours next.
I'd say interesting.
Interesting, how?
Yeah, so we got to see a lot of shocks. People leveraged AI, it worked for them. Others leveraged AI, it didn't work for them. A perfect example is Duolingo.
Okay.
Switching from customer service, human customer service to AI, and that didn't go well with the community. So I'll say it's interesting. That's the word for me.
Very nice. Your word.
Mine would be grounding.
Is it because of your martial art experience? Is that why you use that word?
Not really. So prior to 2025, the tech space in Nigeria had lots of hype. And what do I mean? We had lots of startups raising large amounts of money, shutting down, building products that were not really solving real problems. Sometimes, you know, that was where the whole idea of tech boys had money came from. So it was all this flashy, very nice for the gram kind of tech ecosystem. But in 2025, a lot of those startups no longer exist. What we have now are the guys who are actually doing something that matters, right? So a lot of the companies are now back to their roots, building real stuff and adding actual value. So that's why
Okay, so talking about the startups now, you mentioned, do you mean that 2025 actually tested companies, like organizations, and it tested people like on a different ground to know whether you are for tech, for real, or not? Or you are just on the audio money side?
You can put it that way. You can put it that way. Because we had previous years where you could easily raise money without really having an actual product out there. Or you could raise money, build a shitty product, and yeah, as long as you raise money, that's all that matters. But now all that money has dried up. Like most of the founders are finding it hard to raise money now.
Okay.
So those who succeed now are those who are actually able to build something that is valuable. So it's less of the audio or the optics. It's now about real value. It's now about grit. We know that this product is going to solve this problem, and people are willing to pay us for that, and so we're able to maybe raise funds or stay alive. Right? So it's like the test.
Survival of the fittest.
Exactly, passing through the fire.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. Now let's still talk on these startups, because we have too many startups to start with. Coming from the angle of fintech, coming from the angle of, I don't think healthcare we have too many, but then that fintech space, they are just way too saturated. So do you think it has actually, have they actually been tested? Because we have so many startups folding up, and you're like, oh, I thought these people were saying, oh, they want to bring up this app, this mobile app. Then what is happening? Why are they all folding up? Could it be, what could be the reason?
Yeah, so I would say we've currently with Nigeria, in the Nigerian fintech space, I would say we've solved, in quote now, enough of the fintech. Because reminds me of when I went to a tech event recently, and you could literally walk down the aisle and you see this pay, that pay, them pay, we pay, all of the pays, right? And I feel like that fintech space, the fintech space is actually crowded. What we need right now, and what has happened, is some have actually shut down because you're not actually solving the problem that people are willing to pay for, are willing to use, and you are unable to sort of monetize your product, right? So what we need is consolidation. We've had that in terms of the infrastructure. We have the platforms like Need supporting all of our local transactions, and that also speaks to the startups themselves. I feel like there needs to be some sort of merger, because you find people solving almost the same problem. So why don't you guys just pull up your power, merge together, and do something better for the industry? But for now, that space is crowded, and we need to branch out.
Oh my God, that is just, you just took that out of my mouth, or out of my head, out of my topic. I'm not a tech person, but yeah. So you're just trying to tell us that collaboration and is really key instead of competition, all of that, still in the same space. Absolutely. Okay, talking about founders now, because we believe that for every startup there is a founder, or for any established organization there is a founder. Now over to you. Now, what error or mistake do you think founders made back in past years and still made in 2025 that it is still possible they will make in 2026 in the tech space?
You know why I love this? It's because I've been there, made that mistake, and I've spoken to lots of founders about it, and it's a pattern that keeps happening over again. And if I just summarize it in a few words, it's loving your idea beyond data. So most founders come from a standpoint of, I have this idea that if we can do this, we'll be $1 billion company. If we can build this thing that does this thing, we're going to become the next Apple or the next Facebook. All right, good idea, but what does the market actually say? What is the industry saying? The segments you're targeting, the customers, the people whose problem you're trying to solve, what are they actually saying? Do you have data to show that what you want to do, what you want to attack is actually a problem? So it's making the mistake of just believing in your idea without actually knowing what is on ground, actually understanding the problem end to end, actually gathering data from the people who are supposed to have this problem, so you know that you are solving the right thing, and you know how painful enough of a problem it is before you even proceed to invest your entire life solving it, right? So aside just having an idea, it's moving from just having an idea to understanding, this is the problem I'm solving. These are the people that have this problem. This is how I can solve this problem. Data that actually helps make better decisions.
So does that mean you want to brush it up?
Yes, I want to buttress what is said. It also boils down to also founders building in silence. I think we've come to that point where for idea validation, to understand your customer pain points, like you said, you can't have your idea and be in that silo. You need to speak to people. Let me use the street language, carry your matter for head. Like, let people, your potential users, understand what you're trying to do and let them give you that direct feedback of, maybe this doesn't actually solve my problem, because you might think you're giving them a painkiller, but you're just sort of offering them vitamins. So I think that's one problem founders are still having today, building in silence. Some have actually taken the initiative of going on social media to tell you, this is what I'm building, what do you think about it? I've seen a couple of them on TikTok and Instagram, and that's a good initiative. So I think we should also leverage.
But for some founders are actually confused on who to talk to regarding, what they want to do. And, considering the fact that we are in a system where we do copy and paste the law, just like you mentioned, pay this, pay that, the fintech part where it's too saturated. Like, people don't really, they don't really innovate. Like, one person comes up, you come up with an idea. So we're like, oh, it's like on social media, it's already moving. Let's do the same thing. The only thing is that we'll just add, maybe in terms of color, this is orange, we'll just put purple. Or we just do this and we do that. Is that like, it's more like a disease right now. So how can it be cured? Because in the tech space, it's just going to get like more vast and wider like that. Like, how can we curb all of these things? Like, people should really come up with real innovative ideas and work on it, instead of, oh, I'm waiting for this person to start up with something and then we just work on it. And we now see them, like, it's just like when you have POS here. Before you know it, you have like 20 other persons coming up with POS, and it's very relatable.
So I wouldn't blame those who do this, because it's easier to copy something that you already know works.
Why?
I mean, follow those who know the way,
Like,
right?
why? In our own country, why?
Follow who sabi road, as they say. But the truth, or one thing, I mean, we cannot realize that, or we cannot agree that nothing under the sun is new, right? So we can go from innovation to innovation, but we build on what has been laid by previous individuals. The trick, or the thing that I would always tell people, is pay attention to detail, right? So don't just do copy and paste. If I find a sector interesting to me because someone else has succeeded in it, and I want to do something similar in that sector, I wouldn't just go do copy and paste. I will make my own findings. Look at this entire sector. What are the loopholes that exist that have not been addressed by incumbents? So what problems exist in this sector that these guys have tried to solve and they didn't succeed at? So that I'm not just one off or another like. I will then be this other player in the market that attacks a specific, unique problem in that same sector. Even though we might have 30% similarity, but there will be something 40% or 70% unique about my offering that makes customers willing to use me instead of the others. I mean, we have lots of internet browsers today. You have Google Chrome, Safari, Firefox, blah, blah, blah. But some of us will find ourselves using one over the other for specific reasons. And that doesn't stop the others from succeeding. So it's inevitable that there will be copycats, but be the best kind of copycats, in the sense that don't just copy verbatim, make it unique, improve on it. Find something that the other guys couldn't get right and do it right. So that, I mean, you can succeed.
Okay, so you see, the expert just spewed facts that you should be the best kind of a copycat. Well, I think I just got my lines and bars on that. Then we'll go quickly take a quick break. When we return, we'll still delve into the conversation, because 2025 isn't over yet. Stay with me. All right, welcome back. It's still Silver today with your official mouthpiece, T-Shine. I'm still with my guest, John Dada on Oluwafumbi, here dishing out what it's been like in the tech space all through 2025, coupled with the fact that we have all of our political stories, with our entertainment stories, but then tech is not left behind. All right, let's get back into the conversation. Our Santa tech geniuses. I hope I will get gifts. I have a wish list though, so I'll submit my wish list and I'll get that before you guys will grant my wish.
Hopefully you've not been naughty. So.
Well, you've implicated yourself because you mentioned Santa. So yeah, I have my wish list.
So if you're on the naughty list or the good list, then that
no, it's a very good wish list. And I have a whole long list that you have to. So let's get into the funding conversation and investment. So the funding in 2025, did it reward innovation or just familiarity or just mercy? That's in the tech space now. Because I know you people have.
I'll say it's a win-win. We had some newcomers in the street parlance. Let me say new takers.
You're always having street.
We had some new takers in the industry, and they did very well. We had likes of credit and stuff that actually raised a lot of funding. Then we also had the regular guys who raised enough funding. But overall, I would say those who have a very good track record are those who get rewarded. If investors want to see the numbers in terms of the user base, the revenue, your expenses as well. Is it a capital intensive project you're working on? And hope it's not just for show, because there's that part as well. But bottom line is, it's a win-win for everybody. Some new guys got the money, the old guys got the regular bag. So that's what it was.
Okay, that makes sense. Now talking about founders now, because some people are so confused. They don't know how they want to raise the money. They have this big idea like this Malcolm X theory, Big Bang theory. They want to put something out there like every other person is doing. So what's that one advice you give a founder today, in today's climate, not 2 years ago's climate, like the climate we are that is heated up right now? What advice would you give a founder as a startup?
Yeah, I would say do not bother too much about investors.
Why?
That's the truth. So think of it like, okay, maybe that won't be the best analogy, but investors can be distracting. In the real sense, investors are a means to an end.
Okay.
Right? The reason why you need investors is because you need money to execute your product, to launch your business, or to run your business, as it were. And the truth is, investors are interested in businesses that are actual businesses. They don't want to fund just pet projects. So in essence, you're going to be more attractive to investors if you have traction. You have a working product, whether it's an MVP or whatever version you have customers, and you have some site of revenue. The more revenue you have, the more likely investors are going to be interested in you. So instead of focusing on trying to get investors' attention, just focus on building your business. Get your MVP out, get it working. Get your customers, get them using it, get them to pay you. Find a way to make this happen without investors' money. Even if all you need to do is get 100 customers that actually pay you. When this happens and you're talking to some investor, oh, within 6 months we launched the MVP, in 6 months we are growing month on month, 5 users every month or 5% every month, and now we have 1,000 users who are paying us $1 per month. And they're like, oh, you did all of this with how much? Zero money, just my own money. And they're like, oh, okay, take $100,000.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's a different thing when you come to me and you're like, I have this idea that will turn to $1 billion money
in the next
or something.
10 years.
And you're like, okay, who is using it? Like, no, it's still an idea. Like, you're not serious. Right? So focus on building what you want to build. Investors will come along.
Oh wow, focus on building what you have to build and investors will come along. But as a wild thinker, as we're talking about investors, I'm thinking, oh, since we're already in the AI era, I hope we get to see AI investors that will just, ask us questions and they will just tell them about our idea and they'll just pump us the money. So we are looking forward to that part where we have AI investors. Now, focusing on investors now, what industry do you think, some people are being scared from January, AI, we're on social media, AI is this, you have to learn machine learning, you have to go into this, AI is taking jobs, and we're kind of scared, like AI is going to take my job, it's going to like displace me, I'm going to be unemployed. Everywhere AI. Now people are doing clones of this, like you can actually talk and they bring up an image, which is AI cloned. And so what industry do you think have really, really benefited from this AI emergence?
I would say it's the tech itself, in my own view. Why tech? Because speaking from an engineer's perspective, there are two parts to AI usage. To break it down for this context, there's the knowledge-based part and there's the execution of work part of it.
Okay.
So a developer can literally, in quote, vibe code a project.
Vibe what?
Vibe code.
Vibe code. Okay, I'm learning.
So you can vibe code a project.
Okay.
Some founders do it as well. Just get an AI platform, put in your ideas there. It generates code for you, give you some steps on how to develop it and all. And that has led to some platforms spinning up, not just in Nigeria, outside the country as well. So I would say the tech in itself benefited from it. Although most of the users, I would believe, are non-tech people. We have lawyers, we have presenters, writers, all benefiting from AI. So it's spread across. But if I were to pick one, I would say the tech industry in itself benefited from its product.
Mostly in 2025.
2025.
How about you? Do you have something different?
I would totally agree.
Why now? You can't disagree with
Oh,
me.
no.
Tech. Why? At least you should say another industry. How about the creative industry?
I'm coming now. Let me
Say,
finish.
oh yeah, yes. Please say something.
Yeah, so I was going to agree that tech benefited the most.
Okay.
But I think the second follow-up would be where you have to do content work, right? Because you did mention something, knowledge and execution. So there are content workers, which we call knowledge workers, people who write, people who design, people who, create all sorts of documents, texts,
Sure.
images.
Sure.
Right now, you have tools that can help a designer spin out a prototype design in a matter of minutes or seconds,
Yeah.
versus having to do everything one by one back in the day. Right? And this has transitioned not just in tech workers, but even in the legal space, in the creative space, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
We have lots of tools that make it easier for people to write articles right now,
Sure.
generate an entire blog post that would have taken, God knows how long, lots of brain power and all
But
that.
looking at this, the way you're saying it now, it's looking like AI is going to take jobs, really, really. But then, yeah, people get scared. Let's say, for example, we have a graphic designer, and then people get to learn about using AI to generate their graphics themselves. So does that not mean it's taking the job of a graphic designer gradually, and it's fading out? So I'm not kind of like glorifying it, but I'm just saying, because people are really getting scared of them being displaced from work.
I was in that space as well earlier in the year. Imagine me, a software engineer, waking up one morning and I'm seeing a report of an AI platform that could write back-end code and deploy it to a server.
Oh.
And I almost shut my pants that morning. Like, this is the end. Let me just start looking for something else to do with my life. But to God be the glory.
Hallelujah.
To God be the glory. I think an article came out and it was like, it was just for show. It wasn't an actual tool. For me, in the tech space, I would say AI is more of your co-worker. Think of it as your idea buddy. If you're a junior engineer, think of AI as your fellow junior engineer that understands a little more than you.
A little more than you.
Even though it understands so much more, but think of it as that way. Because the reason I don't want to see it as your senior is because for every thing you give to AI to execute for you, there's still that process of you refining it. If it's an article you've given to an AI platform, you still need to refine it. We've had instances where people take AI content verbatim and you find out there are flaws in it. In fact, I think I heard that in a legal case where lawyers took facts from an AI platform, went to use it in defense of the case, and it came out that the AI just generated something for them, which was not fact, which was not true. So there's that human perspective of you still need to refine. Don't think of it as it's going to take my job. Some jobs might, but it's just I won't think of it as when we had spreadsheet and Excel came into power. Some, in quote, people who were used to writing articles and stuff would have thought AI would take my job. Think of it as when we had the web as well. Newspaper companies would have thought AI would take out. But now you have Vanguard on a website for Vanguard. You have all of these platforms switching to the web and leveraging the web. So it won't take your job. Some jobs will get taken, but not everybody.
They are being diplomatic. Some jobs, it will take your job, but some jobs, all right.
The way I like to phrase it is see it as augmentation. See it as, like you said, a co-worker, and it's inevitable that change would happen in the world we live in. For instance, when I was in primary school, there was a typewriter. When I was in secondary school, we had some Pentium computers that had 200 MB of RAM. The first computer I ever wrote code on had less than 512 megabytes of RAM. I'm sure your phone is like probably 35 gig or 100 and something gigabytes. I'm talking 512 megabytes of RAM. Right? Whoever was using a typewriter back then could have felt threatened by the introduction of digital computers. But what happened is most of them actually learned to use computers. And then Microsoft Word came out and they all learned to use Microsoft Word. Right? So it's that thing that happens with human history, human evolution, where new tools keep coming out. Those who could ride horses, when the cars came out, they probably learned to drive cars. And some of us never ever got to ride a horse, but now we can drive cars. We'll probably learn to fly planes, and whatever form of transportation comes up, we'll learn it, right? So I wouldn't say jobs are being taken, I'll just say jobs are being upgraded. You have to do fewer things to achieve the same results compared to before, right?
Yeah, but for me, I just feel like whatsoever upgrade AI is bringing, whatsoever integration it is, it can never take HR. Because please tell me why it can't take HR. Because I feel like HR is like has been long standing and it's still standing. So shout out to my HR, don't worry. Okay, talking about big moves that you've made this year on a personal level. Before we go to the big tech players, you know, in your industry, like what personal move have you made? Like one big move you've made this year in 2025 in your space and also you?
In my space, I won't say a big move. sort of venturing into another part of tech, which is augmenting retail services. So providing a platform where we could help supermarkets and supermarkets manage waste. So you're not you don't have to throw away your expired produce. You don't have to wait till they even get expired. So we can help you sort of manage that. We also help you augment your inventory. We also help you do what we call supermarket advertising. So it's still in the works, and we're looking to launch very soon. So I'd say that's the big move.
Congratulations, yeah.
From us.
I'll tell you my big move. Don't worry, it's my wish list. Okay, for you.
All right. Yeah, I may not call them big as well, but a couple of things come to mind that happened this year for me. One of them was launching a support AI, an assistant, a customer support AI assistant.
Assistant.
Yeah.
Okay, it won't take the main job.
Yeah, it doesn't. It augments. It
Okay, augments. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, we are safe.
So we did this in my company, Carousel, that actually helps businesses handle their conversations with customers, answers questions on the phone or on chats via WhatsApp, phone calls, WhatsApp. It can take your customers' calls. If they ask questions, it can answer. If, it can walk them through anything within the company, the processes and all that. If they have issues, it can even resolve the issues, depending on what the issues are. And if it can't answer, it just forwards it to a human to take over, that kind of thing. That was one. Then I also started one that helps regular individuals like us track our personal spending. So that was a pet project I started. It takes all my transactions, takes all your transactions, analyzes them, lets you know, okay, in the month of January, you spent 100K on food, you spent 150K on partying, you need to cut down your spending and all of that. I call this spend track laziness.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like the spend track.
I use it day to day, so it's kind of nice.
It's very important for women, actually.
Yeah.
Women, like impulse spenders. I mean, it might not necessarily be women alone, but with men. All right, we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll get into more juicy conversations. But then, I hope you've been able to learn one or two from our tech geniuses. Make sure you have your notepad and your pen. And if you don't have, make sure there's an AI assistant helping you to take the notes. All right, we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll get into the conversation. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Do you still have your notepad? I bet you do, because me, I have an AI assistant. And thanks to them, because they are the Santa Tech geniuses, they're about to respond to my wish list. Okay, moving on. I love your smile, by the way. It's not like I'm toasting you, I'm just saying. All right, talking about people who want to Japan, with what is going on in Nigeria in 2025, if you look at January to now, where there are some things that were not expected, and there were some things that were like, with the way it's looking like, it's going to be really harder and it's going to be tougher. And for us getting instructions from above, the Agbado regime, I mean, it's been like back to back. And so we already gave ourselves OT that some in their minds, they just want to leave. And they want to work in a place that the system works. Not like you have to work day and night and you're not seeing the result or the dividend of what you're working for. But you rather go out there where you are being valued and respected. But that's not the case, I would say, because we're actually valued and respected here, but it looks as if we're just misplaced in the Garden of Eden, but we'll be found very soon, yeah? So talking about people that want to Japan, would you say it is very advisable for them to go? Is there a need for them to still go? Looking at the fact that we have tech now, and we are looking for ways to implement. The way I smile is like you're preparing to Japan. But let's just be real, yeah. Some people want to leave, but is it on the advisory side, will you say it's still needed to leave, or you can still stay here and make it? Both parties will answer. Actually.
Yeah, so to each his own. There's a famous street
balance, yes.
You get that you say you can be in the UK and you still not be okay.
Yes.
So to each his own, or you can be in Nigeria in the tech space and thrive effectively. And at the same time, the tech might not be working for others, mean that they are unable to get into some industries at the moment, or they don't have enough skilling, quote now, to attain certain heights in the industry. So they might find it difficult to get into roles or jobs. And at the same time, we have this, let me call it the shrinkflation of employment, meaning that we don't have much people recruiting as much as we used to have. Back then in 2019, 2020, you could literally get a job after 3 months of experience, right? You could go to a boot camp and get into a job. But right now, you don't have such luxuries anymore because employers are looking for quality, no longer quantity. And one of the points you mentioned earlier was the investor funds are drying up. So
Okay.
most people don't have that liquid cash to play around with and start recruiting 100 million people into a role. So should you jackpot? I would say it boils down to what is your current experience, what is your current reality in this space. Are you able to thrive? If you're able to thrive, I don't see the need to go.
Okay.
But if you feel like you have the resources, and even at that point, if you have the resources, why are you leaving? Do you get? But if you feel this place is not working for you, I don't advise anybody against leaving.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the way you're nodding your head.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it really depends on the reason. Why are you considering Japan? Why do you want to leave? Are you doing it in search of greener pastures, or because you want to go to school, or what is the specific reason behind it? If we narrow down on the greener pasture one, which is where majority might sit,
Yeah.
the grass is not always green on the other side, as they say. It's going to become a question of, if you travel, what are you going to end up doing when you travel? If you are not able to find opportunities that make your life satisfactory in Nigeria, what kind of opportunities are you looking out for when you travel? Do you have enough information about what you're likely going to go do there?
That's true.
For people in tech, I think that barrier is slightly reduced because tech is a global language. It's universally acceptable.
Yeah.
The skills are transferable. You can work in multiple industries, multiple organizations. So yeah, for someone in tech, it's probably going to be slightly easier for you to travel to Japan than anyone else in other industries because of your skill sets. But at the same time, you gotta factor in the pluses and minuses, right?
Yeah.
Check the countries they are targeting. What are their employment opportunities looking like? What are their tax laws? What are all those things? What does it mean to live there? And all that. So if you can, I think it's the better choice for you, please go ahead. But if it looks like, I mean, it's all about having data, really. That's what I'm based on.
You've been saying that from the beginning of the show. Data. Data analyst. All right, talking about skills now. What skills do you think, like, you were talking about people who wants to go, you should have the kind of like necessary skills that will take you there and to sustain you right there, because it's not just about going, it's about having something to do. So skills that are most valuable in 2025 and the skills that have actually lost relevance in 2025. Yeah, let's start with you.
In tech, let me break it down to, there's the soft skill and there's the hard skill. For tech, the core hard skills are still relevant. You still, for every product, still need a graphics designer, a UI UX developer, your project manager, your developers, the actual, in fact, DevOps and the likes. So everything is still needed. None has gone. I would say it's more of the soft skills now, and one core of it is your network. In 2025, as a developer, you can't afford, or even someone in the tech space, you can't afford to be out of reach. You need that network of people. If you're going to switch careers, if you're going to switch jobs, you need people around you. Although you still have to know the job, know your stuff, and but your networking part of it, you shouldn't take it out. It is much more relevant than ever. I'm not trying to be a prophet of doom, but we don't have much Nigerian companies. Their jobs, but I feel like before you get those public notice of jobs, it goes around in circles, right?
Yeah, we
did. Yes, I have a guy that knows a guy that can do this thing for you. Should I call him up for you? And that's how people get jobs. Oftentimes, rather than oftentimes when you see jobs on postings on LinkedIn and stuff, it must have most likely gone through circles, and they couldn't find someone in that circle, and they just posted online. But most of the huge deals, the sweet deals, are transferred between networks. Like, I know a guy who does DevOps. You need a DevOps engineer, I can call him up, you speak with him, and you're done. That's how most of these things go. So the network is very important in 2025.
Network is very important in 2025.
And if I follow the same pattern of hard and soft skills, I'll break it down this way. So you need to have a hard skill. And the hard skill can be very specific, very niche, but you need to be good at the hard skill. So one of the challenges that's propped up in the last maybe 1 or 2 years is we had lots of younger, inexperienced tech people, from engineers to designers. They could just do the little thing.
Yeah, that's because on social media they tell you don't have to have a degree or certificate to learn anything. Just come as you are, and then you pick up the skill.
Of course, you don't need a degree for those things, but you need to be good at it, right? So, but the challenge then comes at the fact that it's now easier to get AI in quotes to do the basic level of some of these things. So what makes one stand out? I would say it's things like problem solving, critical thinking, communication, being able to think critically about a problem, come up with a solution, and then being able to communicate your solution rightly to those who actually need it, right? And then this would then be what makes you stand out. So it's now not just a hard skill, which is very important, being good at it, but being able to think critically, solve problems, and communicate this. And by the time someone recommends, like you said, they will remember, oh, this guy actually got it done.
Yeah.
Never recommend him.
Still competitive though. But then looking at it on the flip side, would you say that the government policy 2025 actually helped or hurt the tech space? Looking at it, has it helped in a way, or has it hurt or caused more damage than good in the tech space 2025?
So tech policies, let me speak to two major ones. The Securities Act that was passed for cryptocurrencies and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll say that helped. Companies are now leveraging crypto as their, or what's it called now, on the back end basically, to manage funds and stuff. That was a very beautiful one. That you can now make crypto transfers and like, even though you're going to be paying tax for it next year.
You will. It's a touch.
That really helped. But there was a regulation that I felt like there was a better approach to it, which is the POS terminal geofencing thing. And I felt like the government, the core of the regulation was to provide, to monitor transactions and, curb the security problem we have in Nigeria. But I felt like there's a better way to handle that. Limiting POS merchants to certain areas could shut down some of these POS terminals, not because of their inefficiencies, but because of this particular rule. So a better approach to that security problem would have been to partner with telcos and banks to track the source of transactions, to track destinations of transactions and stuff you get. But I would say overall, it's, for those two examples, that gives me a 50-50 point of view. To say some hurt and some actually a very good one.
Okay, that makes sense. So now to you, if you had the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria's attention for 60 seconds, so what tech policy would you change like immediately? Like, this is not working and guy, we have to take it out of this line. So what tech policy would you change immediately?
Moving all the central infrastructure of the country from governments managed parastatals to private organizations.
Why?
Because they don't know how to do them right. For instance, let's even flip back a bit. The INEC saga that happened during the elections. I am sure that we could whip up something in one weekend and do a better job than what happened. Talk about all the infrastructure when you want to do your passport registration, NIMC, for instance. I heard that.
You're laughing.
I went to the bank. I wanted to update my address. I went there by 3:50 p.m. And they said the portal shuts down by 4 p.m. I was like, I do not understand.
Exactly, make it make sense.
Help me understand. Like, the portal is down. I'm like, it's a portal. It's meant to be up 24 hours. They're like, but it's down. Makes no sense, right? These are, so all of those things that the nation depends on should not be run by the government. They should be run by private organizations. And not just private organizations that are linked to some government officials, because they are necessarily the same thing. Like, people who can actually get the job done efficiently. That would be it.
How about we have the private companies or the private organizations that we want, and they are also being, if you know what I mean, how do we trust the system?
So I think the private companies owe it to the public to be trustworthy. The society, tech in itself today, runs on trust. I'm trusting Amazon that when not even Amazon, I'm trusting a tech product that when I give you my passport, it doesn't get leaked. I'm trusting that when I give you some of my credentials, it doesn't get leaked. So tech runs on trust. And if we have private entities managing these products, like you have mentioned, there's that trust perception that comes to everyone's mind that we are in charge of this and we owe it to the public to not lose their trust. Because we are a private entity, we are not government sponsored. There's the revenue, and our revenue will definitely run on this trust. There's the user acquisition that will still run on this trust. So it's, if we have private individuals or private companies managing it, I don't think we would have much problems. Obviously, we need the regulation part of it, but we won't have much problems like a server running down by 4 p.m. on a day off chance for
Nigeria. Okay. That means I still believe in Nigeria, strongly in Nigeria. We have two promising tech experts here telling us what should be done and what should have been done and what can be done to make the system right when it comes to tech. We'll go on a quick break. I won't return. The conversation continues, but then we'll be having rapid fire questions. You're not ready for it. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, we are back, still on SaverBet today. We are live here in the studio, and we are doing what we know how to do best, giving you information and insight that is needed to kickstart your new year, starting from the whole wrap-up of tech information, from AI to fintech to policies in the tech space. Whatever industry you may find yourself, this is needed because you shouldn't be afraid that AI will take your place, or whatever thing that they are bringing up in the tech space will take your place, but rather it is integrated to help you and make your work easier. All right, so looking at now, I should call you, since you are Santa's now, I should call you, you project the future for us right now. So we're going to be projecting into 2026. What do you think will completely change in Nigerian tech looking at 2026? Considering what you, from your data, considering what you looked at in 2025, what can actually change in 2026 for tech?
Okay. For me, I would say less fintech, more other services. There's the health care part of it that still needs tech. We need some innovation in that space, which is, there's that part. One of the ones I'm also working on is in the retail space. We still need some innovation in that space. There are a lot of problems that actually need tech solutions, and I think founders should stop looking at building for money, which is a short-sighted approach to building. Build for longevity, meaning solving problems that would last long. And so shifting from fintech to other tech, I think that's one of the things that would happen. And we might be surprised that some fintechs would actually still close out, shut down rather, in 2026. So
wow, that's
inevitable.
And something that I can say might be a recurring pattern, which I've seen in the last year play out, is lots of big corporations are getting involved. So, for instance, MTN, for example, I started doing a lot of weird stuff that I didn't expect them to do. They launched MTN Fiber to homes. I was like, wow, fiber connection to homes. What that does makes it possible for lots of homes to have broadband internet. What that does is actually increase the amount of tech-enabled homes that can access lots of tech services. That's just an example. So lots of corporations are getting involved. GTCO, I think First Bank, okay, not First Bank, Zenith Bank as well. They're all getting involved and making the access to tech much easier, and this is likely to even double down in the following year.
Okay. All right, so if we are going to talk about 2026, give us one bold statement or one quite uncomfortable statement that we have to chew and just take it like that is going to happen in 2026. Yeah, it's going to help us, but yeah, it's not comfortable. We cannot adjust just fast like that.
I won't say bold, but I think it's open news. AI will take some jobs, let's be honest with ourselves.
So they finally giving us breaking news.
Some jobs will be lost, some jobs will get augmented, and new jobs
so that we'll know how to prepare.
So, for instance, if you are a copywriter, I won't say it will take your job. No. But it will augment, because there is the ideation part of it, which AI doesn't have. AI cannot ideate. So there's that part of it where it gets to augment your idea. I also use it. Sometimes I write and I throw it to AI to refine what I've written. So it's more, we'll still have more augmentation, but inevitably.
Okay. No, not the way you're rolling your eyes. Just let us hear it.
Well, bold. I will not talk about AI anymore, so people don't get scared and think the Terminator is coming to. But I would say that the barrier to entry is going to get higher. It was getting higher over the past few years, and it's only going to get higher. Right? So tech is no longer going to be as easy as we thought it was to get in. It's going to get harder. So be prepared for a tougher fight for your life if you want to get into tech right now.
Wow. So I can't do my UI UX in peace.
You can do it. You might not blow in the next 1 year.
I have to blow. What do you mean? With plenty anointing oil on my head. But that's okay. Let's run through the rapid fire questions, and it's just you're not prepared for this, so you're just gonna do it yes or no, yes or no. You choose one. So let's start with you, right? Or we start with you? Which one? Great. Let's start. All right. So, fintech or health tech? Which has more future?
Health tech.
Has more future.
Has more future.
It has to be fast though. You can't wait to think.
Okay, fintech.
What? Why fintech? I don't know why they're doing. You just have money. You see, when I say people have money. All right, bootstrap or raise funding.
Bootstrap.
Why?
You show that you have a potential for revenue.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. All right, Lagos or the next tech city?
Lagos.
Why can they? What happened to Lagos? They can't go to Akure. Why?
I don't understand.
Why not
Lagos,
Ebonyi?
please. I don't understand.
We don't understand. Okay. All right, local solutions or global expansion first. Which comes first?
Local solution comes first.
Why?
You're solving for the natives, and it has the potential to scale.
Okay. So big exits coming soon. Yes or no? Big exit. Yes or no?
No.
Why?
The markets we have in Nigeria is not so big in terms of
Okay.
spending power
Okay.
to attract this kind of massive exits.
Okay, it shows that you guys are you're tech geniuses indeed. Thank you so much for answering the rapid fire questions. So what should founders stop doing, looking at 2026, what should they stop doing immediately so that it won't affect them in 2026, real quick?
I mentioned earlier, don't build in silence. Be loud about what you're building. Yeah.
Don't die.
Don't
die. Like, I don't mean you don't die.
Okay.
Your business should not die.
Your
Stay
business
alive.
should not die. When you said that don't die, in my head I'm like, we should not fire as it now, but that's okay. All right, as a young Nigerian or a young tech startup person who is watching you right now, what's that one advice you have to give them in your final notes?
Yeah, I think he has mentioned something like that in terms of the barrier to entry would be high, so prepare for that.
Is that the only advice you have to give?
Prepare.
You won't even find someone to suit or pat their back.
Okay. You want honesty or you want pat on the back?
Okay, honesty is what we want. All right, your advice.
Yeah, and I would say that double down on the details. Become the best at what you're doing, and that will make you stand out. Right? Don't be shallow. Don't just do it for the optics. Know what you're doing. Enjoy your craft. Be the best at it.
Okay,
that will
makes
make you
sense.
stand out.
All right, that makes sense. Thank you. And on a final note, what gives you hope about this nation, Nigeria, and the future of tech in Nigeria? Please, help our life. There must be hope.
There is actually hope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of problems to be solved. And to be honest, I believe Nigerians are the most creative set of people on earth. So I believe creative ideas will still come to solve these problems that we have in logistics and healthcare. We would still have very innovative problem solvers come up. So it gives a lot of hope.
Hope. All right.
Very true. We have very untapped potentials, very green. We're like a very green environment where lots of problems exist. And we have lots of young people graduating school every day, getting into school, very smart people, learning new things every day. So the sky is limitless in this country. We can have lots of startups that would actually succeed because there are lots of problems to be solved and there are lots of smart people that can solve them. It's just the time and patience for them to find each other. The smart people finding the right problems and solving them.
All right, thank you. Smart people finding problems to solve. And why am I thinking in my head? We need hope agenda, as I mentioned, hope, God, I beg. All right, that's how we call it a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us on Silverbet today. It was really, really pleasurable having to get tech information. So watch out for me in my space when I learn UI, UX design.
Absolutely.
All right, this is how we call it a wrap. It was a wonderful time on the show, and I hope you had a great time with us. So make sure you keep learning, keep asking your questions. And if you're not following us on our social media platforms, what are you waiting for? Tell a friend to tell a friend and get every update, and make sure you drop your comments. I am your real sunshine and official mouthpiece, and this way I'm signing out. I'll see you next time. Bye.